Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to complete a 1040 Easy tax form. So today we're going to use some example data here. Here's W-2 form we have for, you can see Roberto Flores, his information here, where he works and everything of that nature. So we're going to use his information to help fill this out today. So first off, we're going to pull our information here for our first section. Roberto J. Flores is his name. So obviously when you're filling this out for yourself, you're going to be using your information. Now for this class's purpose, we are going to just use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for our social security number. If that happens to be your social security number, just don't tell anybody. Everybody will just think that you're using the same thing everybody else is. So there's Roberto's name, social security number. Now let's pull his address, 285 Southwest 28th Street. Looks like apartment number 8. So type in 285 Southwest 28th Street, apartment number 8. His city, state, and zip, once again, is on your W-2 form. Here you can see it's Portland, Oregon. This is obviously information that you are going to already know, so you're not going to necessarily need to fill it out this way. So it's a 97214-4562. So here we have our basic information filled out. That's our first step, just getting that information in. Now we start with step number 1, wages, salaries, and tips. This should be shown in box 1 of your form W-2. So we do exactly that. Look at our W-2 form. And here we see wages, tips, other compensation, $14,720. So we transfer that number over here, $14,720. We can move this step 2. It says taxable interest. If the total is over $1,500, you cannot use this form. Now, just so we're aware, in this class we're just going to be given our taxable interest. It's going to be part of the problem. But let's say if we're filling this out in actuality, your interest income is going to include all taxable interest from banks, savings and loans associations, credit unions, sometimes some saving bonds, and some other things that you could be looking at. And for these, you're going to receive from those institutions a Form 1099 INT. So it's just a form sent from each investment that you have that you'd be using. Let's say in this case, Roberto has $200 of interest income. Step 3 would be for unemployment compensation. So if you receive any unemployment compensation, you'd be filling it in there. I'm going to say 0 for that. Step 4, add lines 1, 2, and 3. This is your adjusted gross income. So 14,720 plus 200 plus 0 is 14,920. Alright, step 5. If someone can claim you or spouse as a dependent, check the applicable box below and enter the amount from the worksheet on the back. So let's say that somebody could claim Roberto as a dependent. We're going to check the box here that says you, okay? And now we have to go to the back of the worksheet. So we come all the way to the back here. And here it says worksheet for line 5, dependents who checked one or both boxes. So first we start off amount, if any, from line 1 on the front. Remember that was $14,720 plus $300 there would give us $15,020. Minimum standard deduction $950. So it says enter in line C here. It says enter the larger of line A or line B here. So $15,020 is larger than $950. So we put $15,020 there. Maximum standard deduction. If single, enter $5,800. If married, filing jointly, enter $11,600. So let's say Roberto is single. So we enter $5,800. Okay. Step letter E here, enter the smaller of line C or line D. This is your standard deduction. So 5,800 is less than 15,020, so we put 5,800. Okay, exemption amount, if single, enter 0. So remember we said he is single, so we're going to put 0 there. And then line G says add lines E and F. Enter the total here and on line 5 on the front. So it's 15,800 would be our total there. So we enter it here and we go back to the front. Line 5 we enter 5,800. Okay. Now just notice here, if somebody can claim you as a dependent. If no one can claim you, you're going to enter 9,500 if you're single, or 19,000 if you're married filing jointly. So you need to pay attention, and can somebody claim you or not? That will be given to you in the problem, but also in real life, it's something you have to discuss with adults who may be claiming you or not. All right, line 6. Subtract line 5 from line 4. If line 5 is larger than line 4, enter 0. So obviously here line 5 is not larger than line 4, so we're going to take line 4, which is 14,920, minus line 5, which is 5,800, and we get 9,120. That's what we're going to enter here for line 6. All right, line 7, federal income tax withheld for form W-2. So once again, we have to go to our W-2 form. Right here, our second box says federal income tax withheld, $1,501. So we come over here, $1,501 is what we enter in line 7. For the purposes of this class, 8A and B, we're not going to really worry about. So you can write 0 in there if you want. That would be fine. In line 9 here, it says add line 7 and 8A. These are your total payments and credits. Line 7, we can take 1,501. 8A, 0, so it's going to just transfer down $1,501. All right, line 10, use the amount on line 6 above to find your tax in the tax table in the instructions, then enter the tax from the table on this line. So line 6 says $9,120. So we have to go to our tax table and find where 9,120 is going to fit in. So here we have our line for 9,000, okay? 9,120 is at least 9,100, but it's less than 9,150. So this is going to be the line we're going to read off here. Now we move over. Here it says if you're single, you're going to use this first column. If you're married filing jointly, you're going to use this second column. So remember we said Roberto is single, so we take this 9,100 to 9,150 bracket here, and we can see a single person that fits that bracket. Tax is $944. So this is the amount that we're going to enter in on line 10 of the 1040 Easy. Okay. Now 11 is calculating our refund. So if we're going to receive a refund, this is where we're going to enter this in. If line 9 is larger than line 10, subtract line 10 from line 9. This is your refund. So as you can see, line 9 is larger than line 10. So we're going to take line 9, which is $1,501, minus 944, and we're going to enter that amount in 11A. That should be $557. Now, this is how much you're going to receive as a refund if this is your situation. So Roberto would be receiving a payment from the government, paying him for $557 of a refund. Okay? Now, line B, C, and D are information that you can fill out. It's optional information for the government to directly deposit it into some type of banking account you have. So you can receive your refund a little quicker. It'll be a nice little surprise in your bank account when it comes in as a refund. Now remember, 11 and 12 are two different sections. 12 here is the amount that you would owe. You're only going to be filling out one of these. So if you have a refund amount, you're not going to have an amount for that you owe. It's not really possible to owe them money and also receive a refund. So as you can read here in line 12, it still gives you directions. It says if line 10 is larger than line 9, if you look, line 10 is not larger than line 9, so this line is not applicable for us. Okay? But you do always have to check what's the relationship between these two see if you're going to receive a refund or if you're going to owe money. So if you want, you can write 0 in here. Okay. Third-party designee, do you want to allow another person to discuss this return with the IRS? So you can choose to have somebody that would be eligible to talk to the IRS about this document. Okay. Then we go about signing it here. You're going to sign it here, date it here. For the purposes of this class, you're going to list student as your occupation, and you can put your phone number down. You know, if you just want to put a random number down like that for right now, that's fine. The last section here would be paid preparers use only. This would be if you're paying somebody, you know, an accountant, a tax preparer, some type of person, maybe an organization to fill out your tax return for you. They will fill it out for you, and you know, they have to put all of their information in here and sign it and date it. Okay. If you have any questions as you're working through these, you can always reference back in this video or certainly ask me.